What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of A Happy Fucking Life. It's Rhonda. We are back up in this thing. It is Wednesday, August 4th. What's going on, y'all? So everybody that's on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. And for everybody that is listening on Spotify, Apple, Google, thank you so much for tapping in. I appreciate you. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're up to, thank you so much for being here with me. It is another week, y'all. It's another week. And let me kick things off right. Let me start this episode correct. It is August 4th, which means today is my parents' 37th anniversary, y'all. So shout out to my mom and dad for another year of happiness, of bliss, of being best friends. And of course, I wish you guys many, many more years together. And it's been so nice being at home, just being around y'all, just seeing the energy and seeing y'all interact all the time. So, you know, I didn't expect to be at home, but I'm here. And actually, I'm really enjoying being here at home. And like I said, so it's been nice, spending a lot of quality time with my parents. And it's just so dope just seeing people still enjoy each other's company and like each other and definitely love each other after so many years. So happy anniversary, mom and dad. Okay, so this episode is definitely late. But I will tell you is that, you know, when I knew the moment was coming that it was going to be late, I made sure that I wasn't just going to kind of like trash this week and be like, forget it, I'll come back next week. I still was like, I'm going to do an episode, but I'm going to have to honor myself in doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that meant I knew it wasn't coming out at 8 a.m. for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because I was hanging out with one of my friends last night. Shout out to Queen Candy Cole. We had a friend date. We hung out. We watched Versus. You know, we chilled. We talked. We caught up, which was we always have the best time together. So I knew I wasn't going to have the episode done. And I got home kind of late last night. So I told myself, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to honor me in terms of how I feel, you know, allow myself to sleep in. And in honoring myself too and how I felt, I made sure I did not skip on my morning routine. It's so hard to get into a morning routine, like finding what works for you and being consistent with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really hard to do. And I'm in that place where I've been pretty consistent with my morning routine for a while now. But I didn't want to just like skip past the morning routine. And then I've added something new into my routine. So my routine usually looks like this. I get up, I express gratitude. I usually have like some type of mellow instrumental playing in the background when I do my gratitude. You know, then I'll write in my manifestation journal. Then I'll read my affirmations out loud. And then the new thing that I've added in is working out, y'all. Okay. My goal is to add working out into my morning routine. And at least 5 days a week. It may not be every day, but at least 5 days a week. So I'm on my third day of working out and adding it to my morning routine. And I'm proud of myself. I feel proud and refreshed, you know what I'm saying, that I'm doing it. But I couldn't skip on that before I started the podcast. Like I was just thinking about it when I was setting everything up. Had I just, you know, woke up and just set everything up and started the podcast, I feel like my energy would have been affected. Like my attitude would have been a little bit off. I feel like I look bright and happy. I look like I'm filled with enthusiasm. You know what I'm saying? Like that's important. You know, you could tell when somebody don't want to do something or when they're not in the right space to be doing it. And I don't want that. So I'm glad that I honored myself and what I needed in order to, you know, start the day and be productive and do things the right way before I decided to record. So I'm in a really good headspace. I feel good. I feel great. So that's what's going on with that. And that kind of leads into all the feels, which is the first segment for me to tell you how I feel and what's been going on this past week. So I said the word that I'm feeling this past week has been refreshed because I am working out. I've worked out for 3 days in a row. I've been getting some amazing sleep. I've taken some incredible naps over this last week. And also too, in my Playwright Workshop that I'm in a Playwright Workshop on Saturdays. And I feel refreshed about the material that I'm writing. I feel excited about it, you know, because I'm not really a comedy writer, but this piece is going to have some comedic elements. So it gives me a chance to try something different. And I also feel refreshed because of the group of people that I'm among, the women that I'm, you know, in this workshop with, like their intentions, their energy, just them, like who they are, their presence makes me feel refreshed. So it feels good to be around that. So that's the best word to describe my week. And, you know, the week has been busy. You know, it's always something to do, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely have made sure to slow down and rest as needed. But also, you know, staying committed to my time frames as best as I can. And yeah, so that's kind of how the week has been. It's been It's been a really good week. And I'll tell you, there are going to be some times when I'm, not feeling the best. And so I do appreciate the moments when I do feel really good and feel on the up about life and just the day, the moment, what I'm saying, that I'm presently in. So that's all that for all the feels. And before we move on, let me know if you on YouTube, drop it in the comments. Let me know what's the best word to describe your week or this week, or today, how you're feeling. What is a good word to describe how you're feeling? Let me know in the comments. Y'all know I love comments. So let me know how you feeling out there. All right. And moving on to the next segment. The next segment is called Best of the Best. And if this is your first time listening, this is the segment where I share some advice that I've heard or read or seen or listened to, whatever, and how it's, how I've used it in my life. So this week is going to be from Maya Angelou. And the quote is, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Right? I know we often hear, when you know better, do better. So that's a quote from Maya Angelou. And man, that quote is so powerful. Because it's like, damn, when you know better, you absolutely do better because you're equipped to do better. You know what I'm saying? You envision life differently. You have on a different type of lens, different perspective. You're wiser, you're smarter about things. So you can absolutely move differently and just do better for yourself. And I've done a lot better for myself over these last couple of years. And I'm grateful because I can look back and see my growth on where I was. And one of the areas that I was able to do better was in the area of self-love. Now, I don't know about y'all, but self-love was really like a new term for me. Like I would say within like the last 4 or 5 years. I'm not saying that's when it first came out, but I guess that's when maybe I zeroed in on it and started paying attention to it because there were so many books and conversations and podcasts and songs and, articles and just everything with self-love, self-love, self-love. And I'm like, what is this? Okay, self-love. Like, yeah, of course I love myself. But it's like, nah, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like self-love has so many layers to it. And when you understand, the importance of investing in self-love and mastering it, like it's going to help every part of your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started becoming familiar with the term. I'm going to say about like 2016-ish, around that time. And I wasn't good at it, but I was becoming more mindful of it. And I started reading different things, understanding different things, having different conversations with people, reading different books and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, these people must really love themselves to do this kind of thing, to have this kind of dedication, to, to see certain things through, you know what I'm saying? And I saw these people living these fruitful, big, colorful lives, you know what I'm saying? And I say that because they loved on themselves. They went after the things that they wanted. They had boundaries and they wouldn't let anything stop them. You know what I'm saying? And I was somebody who wasn't seeing things through, wanted the validation. I was people pleasing and all that kind of stuff, struggling with self, struggling with making a decision on my own, struggling with understanding what felt right for me. You know what I'm saying? I was doing everything for everybody else at the time. And so I saw these people like thriving, and self-love seemed like the root of why they were thriving. So I was like, I want some of that. So I started listening to different books and stuff like that. One of the first books I listened to was called Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Like I felt like that was a book that came recommended by Miley Teal. She said it on her podcast, and I really valued her opinion about things. And she spoke so highly of the book that I had to have it. So I listened to the audiobook, and it changed my life it really put me on blast about the things that I wasn't doing for myself and why I wasn't doing it. It was like my ego was protecting me and trying to keep me comfortable with certain things in my life. And I was like, damn, like that's what's happening. Like I'm somebody who's out here talking. I'm not showing up for myself. Like it gave me so much perspective and insight on why I was doing things that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And clearly I wasn't alone in this. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was a turning point for me when I listened to that book. And I listened to it like in 2017. And I started understanding different things about myself and about people in general, but then understanding myself. And so eventually I started to master self-love. You know what I'm saying? Like once I left my job in December 2019, everything slowed down for me. Everything stopped in terms of the chaos, the go life, the expectations, like everything just literally stopped. And all I had was myself at that point. So I had no choice but to go inward. And going inward was the best thing I could have done for myself because I understood where I was, why I was doing the things I was doing, the areas I wanted to change. It increased my consciousness, my awareness. Everything just changed. You know what I'm saying? But of course, over time, things change. I invested weeks and months of trying to understand myself and really falling in love with myself, of who I was, and forgiving myself and understanding like the things that made me who I was, like the things that were like a part of my fiber, you know what I'm saying? And why I made certain decisions and why I thought the way that I did. Thinking about the different ways I was conditioned, the things I was conditioned to believe in this life and stuff, right? So I started to break everything down and see shit for what it was, and, started developing my own ideas around certain things and beliefs, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that it's really easy to like fall into, you were given these ideas, beliefs, and values, and staying true to those things for the rest of your life. I think it's very important to take a step back to see if those ideas, beliefs, and values really make sense for you and who you are in your life, right? You have to see if they make sense and add up. You get what I'm saying? Because of course we don't question those things as a kid. Somebody's giving you the foundation for something, but it's totally okay to go back and assess those things. So, this last year and a half, 2 years I've spent with myself assessing and seeing things and changing things and getting new perspectives about things have really added to my self-love. Like, I love the fuck out of myself. I really do. Which means that I have boundaries. I have boundaries that cannot and will not be broken by anybody because I won't allow it, right? So I have boundaries in place. I honor myself in every situation, and that feels incredible. And even with those boundaries, I understand that things could change. So I may have to revise the boundary, but I do it when I want to do it. I would never allow someone to pressure me into changing my boundary. It's just that when maybe I'm self-reflecting and I think about something and I'm like, okay, you know what? A lot's changed in 6 months and I want to change things in this area of my life. I want to honor myself in this way and honor my feelings. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to tighten up this boundary, or actually I can kind of loosen this boundary a little bit, so self-care has been self-love has been a game changer. It has completely changed everything because you know what? I'm not afraid to choose myself. I'm not afraid to walk away from anything. I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid of those things, and sometimes you have to do that because you love yourself enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us stick around for a lot of shit that we've outgrown, that has become toxic, that has become completely dysfunctional, but we don't love ourselves or see ourselves clearly enough to walk away because you don't see how it's destroying your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see it because you've gotten so used to what that thing is. So now, me loving myself, I will walk away from anything, anybody with no explanation. You know what I'm saying? Some things require an explanation, but not all things do. You know what I'm saying? So I have this level of understanding and awareness of myself that is just beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so excited about the way that I will continue to change and how my boundaries will change and how just my understanding around things will change as I continue to grow as a person, because it's like I have so much life to live. So life is not going to look the same in 5 years, 10 years. I mean, hell, look at how things have changed so much for us and going through a pandemic and going through the thing we've all experienced at the same time, right? So we know that life will absolutely change. And so that is how I look at that quote from Maya Angelou. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. And one of the best things about doing better is that it encourages and inspires others around you to do better. So I know that me taking better care of myself has inspired people that I know, people that I don't know, people that I just met, and that's what it's all about, because I know the people who I've seen do better have inspired me to do better. And now I am actually living proof that I'm, walking in those shoes and taking that action and doing better. And I see people around me doing better as well. And that's how it is. As a community, you look out for people and we inspire and push each other. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to need those same people to inspire and push me in other areas as well. So that is the best of the best. That is the advice. You know what I'm saying? And please drop down in the comments if you want to tell me a piece of advice that you have received that changed your life or gave you perspective and insight, to want to, what that inspired you in your life. Please, by all means, drop that in the comments. So I'm about to go ahead and get into the topic, which really kind of ties into the advice that I just spoke on. But before I do, I want to just take a minute to say, if you are on the Apple platform listening from an Apple podcast app, please take a minute to go ahead and give this podcast a review. You can actually go ahead and give it a star rating. There are 5 stars. Choose whatever is fitting based on your experience. Or you can take a minute to go ahead and leave a sentence or two and just write a review. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. I love reading the comments and reading the reviews. Good, bad, or indifferent. I will not take it personal. I want you to be honest. But also doing that really does help get this podcast pushed and put in front of people who may not be listening. And I would love for them to have a chance to listen to see if this is a podcast that they want to put in their rotation. So you'll be helping me out significantly. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also, folks on YouTube, go ahead and take a minute to, give this video a thumbs up. And also go ahead and like I said, meet me in the comments as well. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and also turn your post notifications to all. I would appreciate that as well. So the topic this week is about the power of no, which really just falls in line of when you know better, you do better. The power of no was really about me honoring and valuing my time and where I was with certain things. People would ask me to do stuff back in the day. And because I had no attachment to myself, it was very easy to say yes. So I would overextend, I would spend too much money, and I would just do things for everybody else, right? So I might have had an entire weekend planned and had these things I wanted to do. But if somebody else came to me and said, Rhonda, can you help me with this? Rhonda, you think you can give me a hand with this? I wouldn't even consider my schedule and how important it was for me to stick to the things that I needed to do for myself. I would just say, yeah. Wouldn't think about it. Didn't ask to say, give me a couple of minutes, let me call you back. I would just say, yeah. And I don't know, maybe it felt like that was how I was valued. Like it made me feel good that people wanted to reach out to me. But in a lot of these situations, I was just being used. Like these people knew I was going to say yes. So they constantly asked over and over again, knowing that they were going to get that yes out of me. Right. And, and I can't even blame those people. I had to take responsibility for the fact that I made myself available like that to them and didn't put my foot down and say no. But now that I have mastered self-love and my boundaries and stuff like that, I'm constantly honoring them, and in honoring them, I say no quite a bit now. And sometimes it's with an explanation and sometimes it's not. It depends on what the situation calls for. So when I say no, I'm saying no because I just don't have the time. I don't have the capacity. I don't have the energy. I don't have the interest. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm just not interested in doing it. So the answer is no. I don't want to drive. I don't, it could be a number of things on why I'm saying no. But I really check with myself first before I just rattle off a yes. You know what I'm saying? I really, really honor me and what I have going on, And in saying no, I want to say this too. I've had a couple of people be like, well, you said you're not doing nothing, so I don't understand why you can't do blah, 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 right? And it's because I have time doesn't mean I'm available. Because I have time does not mean that I'm available. I'm not available to do that thing that you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not available. I want to sit at home and lay around and not do anything at all. That's what I planned on doing, and that's what I'm going to do. And it has felt good to be able to take that power back, and use it in the form of no. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty straightforward in terms of, the topic, for this week and the power of saying no. I highly encourage you all to say no in situations that you just don't want to be in, things that, you don't have time for. And, let me tell you something is that when you are out here loving yourself and you're assessing the people that are around you, I feel like my circle has gotten much tighter. I have the right people in my life. And when I say no, people are not offended. They understand that okay, no problem, Rhonda. They keep it moving. It doesn't affect our relationship. There aren't consequences for me saying no. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, for every no, I'm also showing up in other ways as well. Just like when I hear my no's from people, they're showing up for me as well. We just all have the right to honor ourselves and do what's best for ourselves. And the people that love, respect, and care about us understand that. And they're not going to question it. And they're not going to try to strong arm you into saying yes to something that you just don't want to do or don't have time to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. The power of no, y'all. No is an amazing word, and no is also a complete sentence. So don't be afraid of using it. Don't be afraid of using it to see your best friends, to your partner, to your kids, to your mother, your father. Don't be afraid of saying no. You know what I'm saying? You also are teaching them, to say no and what comes along with it. So never be afraid to honor yourself and your boundaries in the best way that you see fit. And a lot of times that it's just saying no, is honoring it. So that's it. That's this week's episode. I'm really happy that I got a chance to record this. I'm going to be getting it out. As soon as I'm done recording, I'm going to go ahead and edit it, get it out. And I can't wait to see what you guys say about the episode, what you think about it. For y'all that'll be in the comments, I can't wait to join you there as well on YouTube. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next week. Y'all make the best of the day. Be good to yourself. Peace. Thank you.